see this one coming. Well, here we are. Another episode of Pop Up Perspectives. I'm actually going to keep this to 10 minutes. This was no warning, zero warning. I'll do a thumbnail and so on and so forth. So let me just get right to the point. So here I am, come home trying to move the wife's car, and yeah, her battery is dead because I guess the kids left something on in there. So I got to wait for the alternator to charge up the battery. So I would figure because I have to wait for that, let me talk to the people. Now I've been out of the action, but why not go with the pop up perspective? And what I'm going to touch on is something that Credit Chill Food asked me in my last video, the commandments for consuming YouTube content. And he wanted me to expound on what I feel about the Amex account shutdowns. Let me make something very perfectly clear. What's up, Mike Newland? Mike Newland in the house. Let me make something perfectly clear. These banks are not your friends. And I feel like a broken record because the fact is that these banks, their primary goal is to return value to shareholders, not to make the customers happy. And I'm seeing a lot of lives, a lot of videos, a lot of things where people have all these wish lists and, oh, this is how it used to be. And this is how it was. And oh my God, if they did this and they did that, suck it up, Buttercup. That bullshit ain't gonna fly because as so go the sands of time, things will change. If things did not change, I would still have my Chase UR Point earning debit card racking up UR points with the money in my account using Visa's credit network whenever I so very damn well please. That is how it works. Things undoubtedly change. So let's put this into perspective. Amex is looking for whales. So low spenders are out. Amex is, allowing transfer rates to get tweaked by the likes of Emirates and JetBlue and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's going to lead to devaluations. Remember, your points currencies are fiat currencies. They are not backed by anything. So it all depends on some guy who decides whether or not he washes his hands when he comes out of the executive washroom. He gets to decide how much your points are worth. Now, another thing, remember the reciprocity of business states that both the firm and the customer have to get something. Unfortunately, most people only think good business is happening when they benefit and the firm doesn't. That's not how it works. That is not sustainable. That's not how sustainability works. So, going into that, Amex is not a unicorn. They operate in the same world that every other ecosystem operates in. Now, here's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about because remember, a lot of people don't look at Amex cards for what they're intended for. They only look at them as sub machines. Or, God forbid, you say anything about the gold because that's the only way they think they can eat. That is wrong. The true superpower of American Express cards are Amex offers. Those are what are going to give you the kind of return that is going to approach your sub return in some cases, up to 20% off, 20% back in cash. There are four different types of offers. I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head because I did videos on them before. So speak of the devil, Credit Chill Food. I'm talking about the comment that you left on my last video. When you have Amex offers, you can get extra points, you can get cash back, you can get it's bonus points, cash back. God, there are two more and they're killing me. Um, there are set spends where you get extra points for a set spend. Other ones, it's per dollar. There's cash back up to X amount of dollars per maximum spend and so on and so forth. But either way, Amex offers are one of the most expensive things for Amex because the reason is that they have these agreements that they have paid other firms that they have to keep in force, whether you use them or not. So that is already a liability. So if they're already paying that, why are they giving you money for points? Not going to happen. Arbitrarily speaking, the value of Amex points or any points is how much they can give away to claw back in your spend and still return value for the shareholder. And unfortunately, points travel has exploded in popularity, and these credit card companies are noticing. So all of that wraps up into the fact that account shutdowns are necessary to trim the fat. Unfortunately, people who pay on time, still the fat. People who have an Amex card, and remember, Amex being a closed loop system, it's not just the interest, but it's the swipes that they live off of. And I can tell you right now in the credit card community, people are utterly cheap. They are super duper cheap. Everybody will tell you that they have this many cards and everything that they're trying to do, but then they'll tell you that they don't swipe the cards for anything. I never pay interest. I never do this. I get it. Chances are you are probably not spending money. Salute, Credit Chill Food. I appreciate the super chat. So we got 4 minutes left. So that's the other thing. Amex survives on swipes, and you have people who are very tight fisted who are entering an ecosystem that, by virtue and marketing, regards spend. It requires spend. So that is the problem that you tend to run into as far as Amex is concerned. In addition to that, no lifetime languages and offers and how they have it set up. You have to think about it this way. Amex has name recognition. Name recognition allows them, and this is something I mentioned on one of Matt Causon's videos. What they are doing is they are allowing a lot of no lifetime live offers to slip through the cracks because what they are doing is coating poison in a candy shell and selling it because when people think they're getting something, they automatically think they're winning, even if that thing does not help them. That's how that works. It is brilliant because then you affect the behavior of people, and that is what they're in the business of doing. Please do not make the mistake that Amex or any other bank is in just the business of finance. They are also in the business of affecting customer behavior. That's how they get the most money out of you. Hello, South Carolina here. Hope you're having a good day, and you. Same to you. But that is what my thoughts on the shutdowns are. So where are we now? We have Mesa who packed up their bag and went home. We have Built who is hopping from carrier to carrier, and they are just throwing everything on the wall to see what sticks. Okay, I mean, obviously, Amex, Chase, and even Capital One have more staying power and are not shuttered so easily. But trust and believe they are going to find a way to extract value for the shareholder, and it's going to be from you, and that's going to be through point devaluations. That is going to be through a diminishing services. Like for instance, the Amex Charles Schwab card that went from 1.25 cent redemption down to 1.1. I guarantee you, before you know it, it'll be at 1%. That's how this all works. So the thing is not worrying about shutdowns. People are worrying about all the wrong stuff. Let's move the apple. It's what are you going to do with your points going forward? Going into 2026, 2027, all the way through 2030. Let's think in a corporate fashion. And with that, you have to understand you got to be smarter with your points. So if I can do a redemption of points for cash, because a lot of people are not realizing this because everybody's either this side or that side. No one's understanding the centrist view. And that is that you travel people, you team travel people have to understand that cash back has value. And you cash back people have to understand that travel redemptions ultimately have value that you're refusing to see. So, like, for instance, if I have a redemption for points that are 1.5 cents, right? And I can get zero point 0.7 cents at Hilton by property of association. I want to say I'm saying that right. By the associative property, we're at 2.2. But now you're either A, struck across two ecosystems, or you've diluted each side. One side you've drug up, one side you've drug down, but still, you can still get value. If you can do that in conjunction with stacking, that's another thing people are going to have to get into is stacking points. And then in addition to that, you have to pay attention to the fact that these values they're not going down, they're simply equalizing with demand. And demand has risen for point redemptions over cash stays. So, with all that being said, this is another episode of Pop Up Perspectives. I am back in the saddle, still working on more content for you guys. And I have to tell you right now, I appreciate everyone who has come out. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to be here. Without you, there is no me. I don't count milestones. Each and every one of you is a milestone. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Chat's Pop Up Perspectives. Salute, and I am signing off.